You're staring at your phone again. 3 hours since you texted her. Nothing. Your chest feels tight. Your mind is racing. Did I say something wrong? Is she with someone else? Should I text again? Stop right there. This is the exact moment you lost her. Not 3 hours ago. Not yesterday. Right now. In this moment of panic. In this moment of weakness. Most men think they lose women because of what they say or what they do. That's not true. You lose her because of what you feel, because of what you allow yourself to need, because somewhere deep inside, you believe that if you just love her hard enough, she will love you back. That's a fairy tale. And fairy tales get you destroyed in the real world. I'm going to tell you something that will make you uncomfortable. Women are not attracted to your goodness. They are not moved by your loyalty. They do not fall in love with your devotion. These things are invisible to the female brain when it comes to desire. What they respond to is power. Not the power to hurt them, the power to walk away from them, the power to exist without them, the power to make them optional in a life that would be great with or without them. Niccolo Machiavelli understood this 500 years ago. He was a political strategist who watched kingdoms rise and fall. He watched good men get crushed and ruthless men win everything, and he wrote it all down. His teachings were not about being evil. They were about seeing reality exactly as it is, not as you wish it to be, not as society tells you it should be, but as it actually operates. Today, we are taking Machiavelli's principles of power and applying them to the one place modern men are losing the most relationships. Dating, the game of attraction that nobody taught you how to play. You've been playing checkers while she's been playing chess. You've been giving speeches while she's been reading your body language. You've been trying to win her over while she has been testing to see if you're even worth her time. In the next 25 minutes, I'm going to hand you 7 laws. These are not tricks. These are not pickup lines. These are fundamental shifts in how you operate as a man. Once you understand these laws, you will never see relationships the same way again. You will never be confused by her behavior again. You will never sit there wondering why she lost interest. Because you will understand the mechanics of attraction at a level that most men never reach. But I need to warn you about something. Once you see how this works, you cannot unsee it. You will notice the patterns everywhere. You will see weak men getting destroyed. You will see strong men being chased. You will understand why your ex left you for someone who treated her worse than you did. And that knowledge comes with a price. The price is that you can never go back to being the innocent, nice guy. You can never pretend that love is just about being kind and hoping for the best. Are you ready for that? Are you ready to see the truth, even if it hurts? If yes, then stay with me. We're about to enter a world that most men are too afraid to look at. The world where power matters more than feelings, where strategy beats sincerity, where the man who needs nothing gets everything. This is not about hating women. This is not about revenge. This is about understanding the game well enough that you stop being a piece on the board and become the player moving the pieces. Machiavelli said that it is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both. In relationships, it is better to be respected than adored, because adoration fades, respect lasts, and respect only comes when she knows you have options, when she knows you have standards, when she knows that access to you is a privilege she can lose. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you said no to her? When was the last time you disagreed with her? When was the last time you chose your own plans over hers? If you cannot remember, then you are not in a relationship. You are in a hostage situation. And she is not your girlfriend, she is your warden. We are going to fix that, starting right now. Let's begin with the first law. The law that changes everything. The law of scarcity. Law number 1. The law of scarcity. Abundance destroys value. Machiavelli wrote that men are more ready to repay an injury than a benefit. Why? Because gratitude is a burden and revenge is a pleasure. What does this mean for you? It means that the more you give her, the less she values it. The more available you are, the less she thinks about you. The more you try to prove your worth, the more she assumes you have none. Think about water. You drink it every day. You need it to survive. But do you think about water? Do you crave it? Do you dream about it? No. Because it is always there. It is abundant. Now imagine you are in a desert. You have not had water for 2 days. Your lips are cracked. Your throat is burning. Now water is all you can think about. You would pay everything you own for 1 glass. Same water, different value. The only thing that changed was scarcity. You are water. Right now, you are free-flowing water. She opens the tap and you pour out. She texts you and you reply in 30 seconds. She calls and you drop everything. She hints that she wants to see you and you cancel your plans. You think this shows her that you care. What it actually shows her is that you have nothing else going on, that you have no other options, that your life is empty without her. Machiavelli understood that people do not value what they can have any time. They value what they might lose. They value what is rare. They value what others want but cannot have. When you make yourself abundant, you make yourself worthless. When you make yourself scarce, you make yourself priceless. This is not a game. This is human nature. This is how the brain is wired. So what does scarcity look like in practice? It means you do not text her back immediately every single time. Not because you are playing a game, but because you are actually doing something important. You are at the gym. You are working on your business. You are reading. You are building something. When you finally reply 2 hours later, it is not a punishment. It is reality. You were busy being valuable. It means you do not clear your schedule the second she shows interest. You already have plans. You already have commitments. You already have a life. If she wants to be part of that life, she needs to fit into it. She does not become the center of it. The center is you, your mission, your purpose, your growth. She orbits around that. She does not replace it. It means you are comfortable with silence. Most men panic when there is a gap in conversation. They feel like they need to fill the space. They need to keep her entertained. They need to make sure she does not forget about them. This is the thinking of a dancing monkey. You perform and hope she throws you a coin. A high-value man does not perform. He exists, and his existence is interesting enough. Here is what happens when you master scarcity. She starts to wonder. She starts to think about you when you are not there. She starts to check her phone to see if you texted. She starts to ask herself questions. What is he doing right now? Is he thinking about me? Is he with someone else? Does he even like me? This is the beginning of obsession. Not because you tricked her, but because you gave her brain space to imagine you. Machiavelli said that the promise of a benefit is more powerful than the benefit itself. When you are always there, you are the benefit received. There is no more promise. There is no more mystery. There is no more chase. When you are sometimes there and sometimes gone, you become the promise. And the promise is always more exciting than the reality. But here is the key. Your scarcity must be real. It cannot be fake. Women have a radar for men who are pretending to be busy just to seem important. They can smell try-hard energy from a mile away. If you put your phone in a drawer and sit there thinking about her for 2 hours before you text back, she will feel that. She will sense that you are playing a game, and games make you look weak. Real scarcity comes from real value. It comes from actually having a life that matters to you more than her attention. It comes from working on goals that make you lose track of time. It comes from having friends, hobbies, projects, and ambitions that fill your day. When these things are real, your absence is not a tactic. It is a side effect of you being a man on a mission. So ask yourself right now, if she disappeared tomorrow, would your life collapse? Would you have nothing left? If the answer is yes, you have already lost. You need to build a life so solid that losing her would be disappointing but not devastating. Law number 2, the law of unpredictability. Patterns breed boredom. Machiavelli taught that a prince must know how to be both beast and man. He must be the lion when strength is needed, and the fox when cunning is required. If you are always the same, you become furniture. Furniture is comfortable. Furniture is safe. But nobody gets excited about furniture. Nobody thinks about furniture when it is not in the room. Right now, you are predictable. She knows exactly how you will react to everything. If she compliments you, you light up like a child. If she ignores you, you chase harder. If she pulls away, you panic. If she comes back, you forgive instantly. You are a machine with visible buttons. Press this button, get this reaction. She has the manual. She has read it cover to cover. Why would she read it again? The human brain craves novelty. It is designed to notice change and ignore sameness. This is why you stop noticing the hum of the refrigerator after 5 minutes. This is why you stop seeing the painting on your wall after a month. This is why she stops feeling butterflies around you after she figures you out. You became background noise. You became predictable. You became safe. Machiavelli wrote that men judge generally more by the eye than by the hand, meaning people believe what they see, not what they are told. If your behavior is always the same, she sees a pattern, and patterns are boring. But if your behavior shifts, if your emotions have range, if your reactions are varied, she has to pay attention. She has to study you. She cannot put you in a box and forget about you. So how do you become unpredictable? First, you break your own patterns. If you always text her good morning, stop doing it for 3 days. If you are usually serious, surprise her with playful energy. If you are always available to talk about her problems, one time say, I cannot talk right now. I am in the middle of something. Not with anger, not with punishment, just with calm boundary. Second, you do not let her emotions control yours. Most men are emotional mirrors. If she is happy, they are happy. If she is upset, they are upset. If she is distant, they panic and become needy. This gives her complete control over your state. She becomes your thermostat. She sets the temperature and you adjust. This is weak. This is reactive. This is exactly what kills attraction. A man with frame control is his own weather system. If she comes to you with chaos, you meet her with calm. If she tests you with coldness, you respond with warm indifference. You do not match her energy, you set your own. When she realizes that she cannot pull your strings, she starts seeking your approval instead of expecting it. She starts wondering what it takes to affect you. And that question is the birthplace of intrigue. Third, you mix reward with withdrawal. Machiavelli understood that hope and fear are the two forces that control people. If you are only kind, you give hope without fear. She knows you will always be there. There is no tension. But if you are only cold, you give fear without hope. She will leave because there is no reward. The mastery is in the mix. You are warm and engaged one day, distant and focused on yourself the next, not in a crazy way, not in a mood swing way, but in a way that shows you have depth. When you give her an amazing date, deep conversation, intense eye contact, and then you pull back for 2 days to work on your projects, you create a gap. In that gap, her mind works overtime. Did I do something wrong? Does he still like me? What is he thinking? This is not cruelty. This is contrast, and contrast creates emotional range. Emotional range creates memory, and memory creates attachment. Here is what most men get wrong. They think being unpredictable means being an asshole. It does not. It means being multidimensional. It means she cannot summarize you in one sentence. It means you are not just the nice guy or just the bad boy. You are complex. You have layers. Some days you are poetry. Some days you are silence. Some days you are fire. Some days you are ice. Machiavelli said it is better to be impetuous than cautious. Why? Because fortune favors the bold and punishes the timid. If you always play it safe, if you always do what you think she wants, you become a servant. Servants are useful, but they are not desired. Break the script. Do something she does not expect. Cancel a date because you have something more important. Disagree with her opinion. Call her out when she is being unreasonable. Not to hurt her, but to show her that you are not afraid of losing her. The moment you stop being afraid of her reaction is the moment you become interesting again. Fear makes you predictable. Courage makes you magnetic. Law number 3. The law of the mirror. Reflect her desire, not your need. Machiavelli wrote that the wise prince does not keep faith when such observance may be turned against him. What does this mean? It means you do not give loyalty to someone who uses it as a weapon. You do not give your heart to someone who sees it as weakness. Instead, you show people what they want to see until you know their true intentions. Most men approach women by displaying themselves. They talk about their job, their goals, their interests, their achievements. They think they are showing value. What they are actually showing is insecurity. They are saying, please, look at me. Please think I am good enough. Please validate my existence. This is the energy of a beggar. And beggars do not attract. They repel. The Machiavellian approach is different. You do not talk about yourself. You become a mirror. You reflect her back to herself. You ask questions that nobody else asks. You listen with intensity that makes her feel seen. Not surface questions like, how was your day? Deep questions. Questions that touch her ego. Questions that reach into the parts of herself she hides from the world. Why do you act tough when I can see you are scared? What are you really running from? You show everyone this version of yourself, but who are you when nobody is watching? These questions do something powerful. They make her feel exposed, but they also make her feel understood. And the person who makes a woman feel understood becomes unforgettable. Here is the secret. Everyone is obsessed with themselves. We are all the main character in our own movie. We all care about our own story more than anyone else's. Machiavelli knew this. He knew that to control people, you do not force them to care about you. You make them feel like you care about them. You become the audience to their performance. You become the mirror that shows them their best self. When you validate the parts of her that she is insecure about, you create a bond. not the parts everyone validates. Every man tells her she is beautiful. That is noise. That means nothing. You validate her effort. You validate her struggle. You validate the darkness she tries to hide. You say, I see the part of you that you think is broken, and it does not scare me. That creates addiction. But here is where the control comes in. You are the one holding the mirror. You decide when to hold it up. You decide when to put it down. When you give someone deep validation and then you withdraw it, they will do anything to get it back. She will chase the reflection of herself that she saw in your eyes. She will try to earn back that feeling of being seen. This is not about lying to her. This is about understanding what she truly wants. And what every human wants is to feel significant, to feel like they matter, to feel like someone finally gets them. When you give her that, and then you go quiet for 3 days, her mind spirals. Did I lose him? What changed? How do I get that connection back? This is the beginning of her chasing you. Machiavelli taught that people are won over more by the person they think you are than by the reality of who you are. She does not fall in love with you. She falls in love with how she feels when she is around you. And if being around you makes her feel like the most interesting person in the world, you become her drug. You become the source of a feeling she cannot get anywhere else. But you must be careful. Do not become her therapist. Do not become the emotional dumping ground. You are the mirror, not the sponge. You reflect. You do not absorb. If she starts using you as free therapy without giving anything back, you withdraw. You become unavailable. You remind her that your attention is not a public service. It is a gift, and gifts can be taken back. So stop trying to impress her with what you have done. Stop listing your achievements like a resume. Instead, turn the spotlight on her. Make her talk about herself, but not small talk, deep talk. Make her reveal things she has never told anyone. Make her feel naked without taking off her clothes. That vulnerability creates a bond stronger than physical attraction. And then, when she is hooked on that feeling, when she starts seeking your validation like oxygen, you control the supply. You do not cut it off completely. That would make you cruel, but you ration it. You give it when she earns it. You withdraw it when she takes you for granted. You train her nervous system to understand that your attention is conditional. It is based on her behavior. It is not guaranteed. This is how you become irreplaceable, not by being perfect, but by being the only person who truly sees her, and then by being the only person who might look away. Law number 4, the law of equality. Destroy the pedestal or be destroyed by it. Machiavelli wrote that men rise from one ambition to another. First they seek to secure themselves against attack, and then they attack others. This is the nature of power. If you place yourself below her, she will attack, not with violence, but with disrespect, with tests, with the slow erosion of your dignity until there is nothing left. Right now, you worship her. You think she is perfect. You think she is a goddess walking among men. You stutter when she looks at you. You agree with everything she says. You laugh at jokes that are not funny. You apologize for things that are not your fault. You treat her like she is doing you a favor by existing in your presence. This is the pedestal, and the pedestal is a trap. Here is what you do not understand. When you put her on a pedestal, you are not lifting her up. You are putting yourself down. You are saying, I am beneath you. I am not your equal. I am lucky you even notice me. And women are biologically wired to seek men of equal or higher status. They do not date down. They cannot. It goes against every instinct they have. By worshipping her, you disqualify yourself from being her partner. You become her fan. And fans do not get intimacy. Fans get autographs. Machiavelli understood that respect comes from perceived equality or superiority, never from inferiority. A prince who shows weakness invites conquest. A man who shows worship invites contempt. You think you are honoring her. What you are actually doing is showing her that you do not believe you deserve her. And if you do not believe it, why should she? So you must destroy the pedestal. You must see her as she truly is. Human, flawed, insecure. She wakes up with bad breath. She has doubts. She has made mistakes. She has fears. She goes to the bathroom. She is not a perfect being of light. She is a person. And you are also a person. You are equals, or you should be. When you see her as an equal, everything changes. You stop being afraid of her. You stop seeking her approval. You stop censoring yourself to avoid upsetting her. You say what you think. You disagree when you disagree. You call her out when she is wrong. You tease her. You challenge her. You treat her like a human being, not like a fragile statue that might break if you breathe on it wrong. This is what she has been waiting for. Every beautiful woman is surrounded by men who agree with everything she says, men who compliment her constantly, men who never push back, men who are terrified of making her angry. These men are everywhere. They are boring, they are forgettable, they are interchangeable. But the man who looks her in the eye and says, "I think you are wrong about that," that man is rare. That man is interesting. That man is not afraid of her. Machiavelli said that people respect strength and despise weakness. When you disagree with her, when you maintain your frame, when you refuse to bend every time she pushes, you demonstrate strength, not aggression, not cruelty. Strength, the strength to have your own mind, the strength to have your own standards, the strength to not need her approval to feel good about yourself. Here is how this looks in practice. She says something you disagree with. The old you would nod and smile. The new you says, "I do not see it that way." And then you explain your perspective with calm confidence. She tests you by being unreasonable. The old you would apologize and try to fix it. The new you looks at her with amused eyes and says, "Are you always this much trouble?" Not with anger, with playfulness, like you are talking to a child who is misbehaving. She tries to make you jealous by mentioning other men. The old you would panic. The new you shrugs and says, "Sounds like you have options. Good for you." And then you go back to whatever you were doing. You do not compete for her attention. You do not fight for scraps. You simply exist as a man who knows his worth. And if she wants to explore her options, the door is open. You are not holding her hostage. This is the energy that creates respect. And respect is the foundation of everything. She cannot love a man she does not respect. She cannot be attracted to a man she does not respect. She cannot submit to a man she does not respect. And she cannot respect a man who worships her, because worship implies that she is above you. And if she is above you, you are not a king, you are a servant. Machiavelli taught that it is better to be feared than loved, if you cannot be both. In relationships, translate this as, it is better to be respected than adored. Adoration is what she gives to puppies and children. Respect is what she gives to men. Choose wisely. Stop putting her on a pedestal. Stand next to her as an equal. Or better yet, build yourself so high that she has to reach up to touch you. Let her work to earn your time. Let her prove she deserves your attention. Let her chase the approval that you no longer freely give. This is not arrogance. This is self-respect. And self-respect is the most attractive quality a man can have. Law number 5. The law of silence. Power lives in the pause. Machiavelli wrote that everyone sees what you appear to be, but few experience what you really are. The more you talk, the more you reveal. The more you reveal, the more you give away your power. Words leak energy. Explanations leak desperation. Over-talking leaks insecurity. The man who speaks the least controls the most. You talk too much. You explain yourself constantly. You send long paragraphs trying to make sure she understands your perspective. You clarify, you justify, you defend. You fill every silence because silence makes you uncomfortable. And in doing all of this, you hand her a map to your weaknesses. You show her exactly how to manipulate you. You give her the manual to your mind. Silence is a weapon, not the silent treatment, not the cold shoulder, not the passive-aggressive withdrawal. Real silence, the silence of a man who is comfortable in his own skin, the silence of a man who does not need to convince anyone of anything, the silence of a man who knows that his presence speaks louder than his words. When she tests you, when she tries to provoke a reaction, when she throws a small tantrum to see if you will chase, give her nothing. Look at her with calm eyes. Let the silence stretch. Do not rush to fill it. Do not rush to apologize. Do not rush to fix her emotions. Just breathe. Just be. Let the uncomfortable silence do the work. She will break first. She will start explaining herself. She will start seeking your approval. Because humans cannot handle silence, it forces them to confront themselves. Machiavelli said that the lion cannot protect himself from traps, and the fox cannot defend himself from wolves. Therefore one must be a fox to recognize traps and a lion to frighten wolves. Silence is the fox. It helps you recognize her traps. When you do not react immediately, you see her strategy. You see what she is trying to make you feel. You see the manipulation before you fall into it. And once you see it, you cannot be controlled by it. Here is the practice. Before you respond to anything she says, wait 3 seconds, look at her, breathe, think, then speak. Those 3 seconds destroy her autopilot. They show that you are not reactive. They show that you are deliberate. They show that you are in control of yourself. And a man in control of himself is a man who cannot be controlled by others. Stop explaining yourself. Stop defending your decisions. Stop justifying your choices. If you decide something, decide it. If you say no, say no. Do not follow it with a paragraph of reasons why. No is a complete sentence. When you over-explain, you signal that you need her to agree with you, that you need her permission, that you are seeking her validation. A king does not explain his decrees, he states them. Or better, he simply acts. Machiavelli taught that actions speak louder than words. If she disrespects you, do not say, "I will not tolerate disrespect." Just leave. Just go silent. Just withdraw your presence. Let your absence be the consequence. Let the silence teach her what words never could. That you are not a man who begs to be treated well. You are a man who simply removes himself from situations that do not serve him. Mystery cannot exist in a biography. If you tell her everything about yourself on the first date, you are a finished book. She reads you and puts you back on the shelf. You must remain incomplete. You must keep parts of yourself hidden. Not through lies, through selective sharing. Share your depth slowly. Reveal yourself in layers. Make her work to discover who you are. Make her earn the deeper parts of you. The silent man is the mysterious man. The mysterious man is the attractive man, because mystery creates curiosity, and curiosity creates pursuit. When she does not know what you are thinking, she has to guess, and in guessing, she thinks about you, and in thinking about you, she becomes attached to you. All because you learn to close your mouth and open your power. Law number 6. The law of options. Freedom is the ultimate attraction. Machiavelli wrote that princes should delegate difficult tasks to others and keep popular ones for themselves. In relationships, this means make her work for you, but never work for her validation. She must feel that being with you is a choice you make every day, not a need, not a dependency, a choice, and choices can change. Right now, she is your only option. Or at least, that is what your behavior tells her. You revolve around her. You wait for her texts. You plan your days around her availability. You drop everything when she calls. This tells her that you have nowhere else to be, nobody else who wants you, nothing else that matters to you. And this makes you low value, not because you are actually low value, but because scarcity signals value and you are abundant. You need options, real options, not fake options that you pretend to have. Real women who would say yes if you asked. Real activities that fulfill you. Real friends who want your time. Real projects that consume your energy. Real goals that matter more than her approval. When you have options, you stop clinging. When you stop clinging, you become attractive. Because the energy of a man with options is completely different from the energy of a man with none. Machiavelli said that dependency is the death of power. The moment you need her, she owns you. The moment she knows you cannot walk away, she stops trying to keep you. Why would she? You are already caught. You are already hers. There is no challenge. There is no risk. There is no competition. She can treat you however she wants because she knows you will stay. You have made yourself a prisoner, and prisoners are not respected. They are pitied. So build your empire. Invest in yourself. Go to the gym. Build your body. Start a business. Build your wealth. Read books. Build your mind. Make friends. Build your social circle. Chase your purpose. Build your legacy. Fill your life so full that she becomes an addition, not the foundation. When your life is rich, losing her becomes survivable. And when losing her is survivable, she can feel it. She can sense that you do not need her, and that scares her. And that fear makes her try harder. Here is the truth that nobody tells you. Women are attracted to men that other women want. Pre-selection is real. If you were the guy sitting at home waiting for her text, you are not selected by anyone. But if you are the guy who has 3 other women interested, who has friends calling him to hang out, who has projects demanding his attention, suddenly you become interesting. Suddenly you become valuable. Not because you changed, but because the context changed. Machiavelli taught that men judge by results. She does not care about your potential. She cares about your reality. Are you actually busy, or are you pretending to be busy? Are you actually building something, or are you just talking about it? Are you actually wanted by others, or are you just hoping she wants you? The difference shows in your energy. Fake abundance smells desperate. Real abundance smells like freedom. And freedom is the most attractive scent in the world. When she knows you could leave at any moment, she holds on tighter. When she knows you have choices, she tries to be the best choice. When she knows you are not trapped, she stops taking you for granted. This is the paradox. You only keep what you are willing to lose. Grip sound tightly and it slips through your fingers. Open your hand and it stays. So stop making her your everything. Make her your something. Let her be part of your great life, not the center of a small one. Let her see that you have places to go, people to see, goals to chase. Let her wonder if she is even a priority. Let her compete for your time. Let her prove she deserves it. This is not cruelty. This is reality. High value is scarce, and you are high value. Start acting like it. Law number 7. The law of departure. The ultimate power is the power to leave. Machiavelli wrote that he who builds on the people builds on mud, meaning if your foundation is other people's approval, you will collapse. Your foundation must be yourself, your strength, your standards, your boundaries, and your absolute willingness to walk away from anything that violates them. This is the nuclear option, the final law, the one that ties everything together, the absolute non-negotiable willingness to leave and never look back, not as a bluff, not as a threat, as a reality. Most men stay in bad situations because they are afraid of being alone, afraid of starting over, afraid of the void, so they tolerate disrespect, they tolerate being taken for granted, they tolerate being the backup plan, and every day they stay, they lose more of themselves. You must internalize this. You are the prize, not because you are perfect, but because you are rare. You are a man who knows his worth, a man who has standards, a man who is building something, a man who refuses to settle. There are billions of women in the world, but there is only one you. When you truly understand this, the fear disappears, because you realize that losing her is not the end. It is just a chapter, and your book has many chapters left. Machiavelli taught that a prince must not be afraid to make difficult decisions. In relationships, the difficult decision is walking away from someone you love who does not treat you right. Most men cannot do this. They stay because the good moments make them forget the bad ones. They stay because they invested time. They stay because they hope she will change. But hope is not a strategy, and time invested is not a reason to stay. It is a sunk cost. When she disrespects your boundary, you leave. When she takes you for granted, you leave. When she treats you like an option while you treat her like a priority, you leave. Not with anger, not with drama, not with a long speech about how she hurt you. You just go, quietly, calmly, permanently, because a man who respects himself does not beg to be treated well. He simply removes himself from places where he is not valued. This energy is intoxicating. When she knows that you will actually leave, everything changes. She stops testing you. She stops playing games. She stops being careless with your heart, because she knows the consequence is real. She knows you are not bluffing. She knows that one more mistake and you are gone forever. And that knowledge makes her careful. It makes her try. It makes her show up as her best self. But you cannot fake this. Women have a sixth sense for men who are pretending to be ready to walk but are actually dying inside. You must actually build a life so good that losing her would hurt but not destroy you. You must actually have options. You must actually have purpose. You must actually love yourself enough to refuse disrespect. When this is real, she feels it, and it terrifies her, because she knows she is dealing with a man who cannot be controlled. Machiavelli said that fortune favors the bold. Walking away is bold. Staying in a bad situation is cowardice. Every day you accept less than you deserve. You teach her that you do not deserve better. Every day you stay after she crossed the line. You move the line further back. Eventually, there is no line. Eventually, there is just you, accepting anything, grateful for crumbs, calling it love. That is not love. That is self-abandonment. Real love requires two whole people choosing each other every day, not one person clinging and the other tolerating. If she does not choose you with enthusiasm, let her go. If she does not respect your boundaries, let her go. If she does not add to your peace, let her go. The gate is open. She is free to leave. And so are you. This is the final truth. You cannot control her. You can only control yourself. Every law we have covered today, scarcity, unpredictability, the mirror, equality, silence, options, departure, none of them are about controlling her. They are about controlling you, controlling your reactions, controlling your emotions, controlling your needs, controlling your frame. When you master yourself, you master the dynamic, not through force, through presence. Machiavelli's teachings were never about evil. They were about reality, about seeing the world as it is and operating with strategy instead of hope. You have been operating on hope, hoping she will see your value, hoping she will appreciate your effort, hoping she will love you the way you love her. Stop hoping, start becoming. Become the man who does not need her, and watch how badly she needs you. The throne is not outside you, the throne is inside you. Stop begging for a seat at her table. Build your own kingdom. If she wants to be your queen, she must prove herself worthy. If not, the gate is open. There are other kingdoms, other queens, but there is only one king, and that king is you. If you made it to the end of this video, you are ready. You are ready to stop being the nice guy who finishes last. You are ready to stop being the emotional tampon. You are ready to stop giving your power away to someone who does not value it. Type in the comments, "I am the prize," and then go live like it. Subscribe to Iron Mind Forge for more truth. The next video goes even deeper. Do not miss it. Your transformation starts now.